All right, let's see if we remember how to do this. It's been a little too long, I think. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Tap Talks, number 0008.
Yes.
Is it bad that we've already lost track, even though we've only done a handful? It's been a while.
It has been a minute. I couldn't even tell you how long it's been. At least a month.
Well, you know what? We never promised that this was going to be something that we did all the time. We just, we've had so much awesome beer on. We could have done like 20 of these things easily. But we were not going to let this particular tapping of our Dark Days of Summer pass without actually doing a proper tasting here on camera and telling a little story behind these amazing beers that we do for the Dark Days of Summer. This is the third time we've done it. We just had our third anniversary. July 23rd was 3 years since we opened the door to the Barley Merchant. So, yeah. So tell us, how do we get Dark Days beers? Like, what's the story behind curating them?
We like to stash beers away all year of big, bold, and boozy varieties. So that when we get to the middle of the summer, when typically these beers aren't really being made or available, we've got so many of them. Yeah. I call these like hot tub beers. Anyone who knows me, I love drinking a beer like this in the summer heat in a hot tub. I think that it's the best time to enjoy a dark beer.
You go in a hot tub in the summertime?
Oh yeah, love it. With a big stout and just...
There you go.
They warm up great. These beers taste better, a little bit warmer, typically speaking. And we've got a real fun variety here, some rare stuff.
So altogether, we've got 8 of them that we're going to be tapping. We've got a little list. So we're going to start with 4, and then as these ones run out, there's another one that's going to go right behind it. Similar styles this year too. I really like how you curated the list this year. 7 different breweries. Backcountry got the doubleheader because they had some bangers on the big boozy train.
And we've never had their dark beers on tap here, and they're one of my all-time favorites, and I love their dark beers so much.
There you go. Well, let's dive into this in the essence of time. So
the restaurant's open. If you guys can't tell, we are behind schedule.
We've got our microphones here, so hopefully these are working and cutting out the ambient noise. It's the first time we've done it with an audience. We have people sitting here watching us film this. So.
Cheers, Tim.
All right, cheers. I'll lead off with this one. I was super excited that we managed to get this one.
That's the plan.
So we are starting off Callister Brewing. Callister was an amazing brewery project incubator, if not anything, for they made their own amazing award-winning beers, but they also were the starting places for people like Boombox and Superflux. Also,
back when they were a machine.
Yeah, way back when. This particular beer, super excited to have this one. So 2 years ago, the inaugural Canada Beer Cup. Laird of Fintry Wee Heavy from Callister won not only gold for its category, but it also won for best in show. So aged in the Laird of Fintry whiskey from Okanagan Spirits. This sucker is amazing. Comes in at 9.3%. I guess when they entered,
the baby of the bunch here.
Yeah. Is that our lowest ABV?
Yeah, it is.
Just a moderate 9.3%. So yeah, when they, as I understand it, they entered it and it won, and then everybody was like, "Oh, you won! Can I buy some?" And they're like, "Oh, actually, that was the last of what we had." So they gave it a little bit of thought and said, "You know what? Why don't we brew it again?" So they brewed it again, and I was like, "When it's ready, I absolutely wanted to get some of that on tap at the Barley Merchant." So we secured a 50-liter keg of it.
Yeah, there's a bit.
And and then sadly at the end of it last year, Callister closed up shop, but we've been sitting on this beer since then. And it's a beauty. So it's a Scotch ale. So you've got these beautiful like caramel, vanilla notes. The whiskey comes through. The oak comes through.
The color of this beer
it's just an all-round, outstanding, super awesome beer. Yeah. You know how like when you you have really high expectations when something wins an award, and you're like, I got to get my hands on it. Sometimes it can take forever, and then we had to have the patience to let it, sit in the back corner of our beer fridge. And then when we tapped it, the minute it hit my lips, I'm like, that's
Worth
a gold
the
medal
wait.
beer right there.
Worth the wait.
Yeah.
And probably the last Callister keg in existence. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, unless someone else stashed away some Callister kegs.
Yeah.
This is probably the last time you're going to get a chance to have them on tap for beer. They still make delicious pop. If you can get those pops on tap in places.
Callister sodas are pretty damn tasty. Yeah, awesome. So come get your Laird of Fintry Wee Heavy. It's a beauty. Okay, moving on.
We've got Backcountry. Cheers, Tim.
All right, cheers and again. Ding! This one's wild.
I think this is my favorite of round one. To be honest, it's the one that I enjoyed my first glass of when we tapped it on Tuesday night. So this is called Death Before Decaf. And it's a dirty Imperial Chai bourbon barrel-aged stout. So yeah, the bourbon barrels were from Willet and Heaven Bourbon and Heaven Hill. I don't know where those guys are from.
Probably Kentucky.
I'm assuming Kentucky.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, all the way from Kentucky.
Yes,
and it's been aged on coffee, vanilla, and coconut with tons of those chai spices in there as well. So one of my favorite drinks to get is a dirty chai. And for those who don't know, that's adding espresso to chai tea. Because if you're going to have a drink, you might as well put some caffeine in it.
Yeah.
And then you might as well put some alcohol in it. And this is just all my favorite things.
And coconut, one of my favorite things. So yeah, like this
classic Backcountry.
I think like flavor-wise, as far as there's a whole F-load going on with this.
Which is why I love it.
This is definitely one of those. It's kind of like you, Josh. It's just a lot
all
at once.
Going on. Yeah. But it's balanced. Everything is perfectly balanced. And if you've never been to Backcountry, they've got these amazing barrels in their back room. And they're making these barrel-aged stouts. A lot of people know them for their hazy IPAs and their funny-named sours. But their barrel-aged program is top-notch. And the kegs are a little hard to get a hold of. So I'm very happy that they made an exception. Saved us a couple of these kegs.
Yeah.
And this is a gorgeous, coming in at 10%. So a little strong.
It almost borders on desserty. If you had a 12-ounce pour of that, like that's a lot of this. It's like I said, there's a lot going on. I actually, when I was writing up the description, I used the words decadent flavor bomb.
Yeah.
And I think that sums it all up. Another banger, 10%er.
Yeah,
just a mild
casual,
10%er.
super casual.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic though. Like this is a 10 out of 10 beer for me.
There we go.
Everything I like in a beer.
Okay, so this is another one. Like you talk about having patience and letting barrels do the work, letting Brett do the work. Your Britannomyces in there. So our next one here is I remember when this one first came out, the first version of it, 2020. This is Dageraad's Alone Under the Vast Indifference of the Sky was the original version of this. So it is a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout, but it was aged on Brett, so it gets a nice little bit of that kind of a funk. And then that funk plays in with the cherries that it was also aged on. So with the cherries and the funkiness, you get a little bit of a dark sour sort of vibes to it. But then the stout's like, no, I'm still over here. And also meet my friend bourbon or whiskey, So that was the first version, 2020. Well, they had some patience and wherewithal to see what else can we do to evolve the flavor of this particular beer. So they kept some in the barrel and they added cocoa nibs. And was it cocoa nibs and...
Yeah, Tanzanian cocoa nibs.
Tanzanian cocoa nibs. Yeah, there you go. It brings in chocolate, oakiness, a little booziness. But then again, it plays with the cherries. It plays with the Brett. And, it is...
So this is the Entropy Series number 22 from Dageraad, and they've got amazing Entropy Series beers if you've ever had one of those. The vast indifference of cocoa nibs to play homage to the vast indifference, Alone Under the Vast Indifference of the Sky. And what a smooth 11.7 this is.
I know.
This one, it's almost light in body in a way. Like it's very silky.
Yeah.
It's really
yeah.
smooth.
I mean, especially going from the Death Before Decaf.
Thick,
rich, sweet, molassesy sort of textures to this thinned out, balanced, refined. 4 years ago was the beginning of the journey of this beer. So pretty remarkable how it's turned out. So
this beer started before the restaurant.
That is wild. I didn't even think about that one.
There we go.
Well done. Well done. All right, well, let's finish it off here, Josh.
So, cheers, Tim. This is the last on the flight right now. That's just classic. So this is the Black Dog Quad from Red Collar Brewing over in Kamloops. So this one weighs in also at 11.7%. And the Black Dog is named after the Red Collar logo, the dog with the logo. His name is Goosey.
Goosey.
In memorandum of Goosey, the namesake of Red Collar. This is a Belgian quad. Pretty classic, pretty straightforward, and complex as every single Belgian quad should be.
Yeah.
It is just a style. I love Belgian beer. I love Belgian quads probably the most. And there's just a really nice sweetness to this beer.
Yeah.
Once again, nice and full-bodied, beautiful color.
Yeah, they definitely have that. I mean, I think they use that Belgian candy sugar.
Yeah, the darker sugar.
To really give it its sweetness.
Maltiness.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I mean, I guess this is last year. I think they make it to come out on the anniversary for like November or something.
This would have been 2023's brew.
Yeah.
Back in November, we picked up a keg.
Yeah,
Stashed
super awesome. Another one of those great breweries. It's like quite a ways out of town. Doesn't have a ton of distribution down here, but they give Josh a call every time they come down. They're like, hey, what do you want us to bring? We're headed to the coast. So
yeah, and they're if you're ever in Kamloops, an amazing tasting room. Super awesome vibe, really awesome people. They also make gin, so I'm a really big fan of Red Collar for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And other spirits as well. I believe they make an absinthe and some other spirits, but
no shortage. So
overall,
there you go.
Yeah, this flight is just one big boozy adventure.
It is a big, bold, and
Yeah,
boozy
you got to tuck in for a
adventure.
minute.
Lots going on.
You can't finish
Sip
this quickly.
it, savor it. These are not shots.
Yeah,
The
share
first time
them
I
with
had one of
friends.
these, it took me an hour to drink the whole thing. So I was just like, I was drinking it all in, Josh.
Yeah, drink it all. Hashtag
Drink it all in.
Here at the
Yeah.
Barley
Not all at once, though.
No, responsibly,
Yeah.
one at a
In
time.
small sips
Bring friends.
that you're supposed to savor.
Yeah, and
Talk about
talk about the flavors.
because beer is meant to be talked about, not just poured down your gullet. I mean,
We can do both.
golfing.
Yeah,
Can you imagine having one of these while you're golfing? That would probably
maybe
not
mini
go well.
golfing. Maybe mini golf.
Oh, mini golfing for sure.
Yeah.
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 All right. So coming up in round two, we have really angry Scotch Ale from Russell Brewing, a cranked up version of their original Angry Scotch Ale, which actually
Was
the beer that actually converted me over to craft beer.
wasn't that the first beer on tap here?
It was the very first beer we
That poured
poured.
through.
Felt
So
like
I
it was
thought
kind
that
of
was
a
a really
poet.
classic. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and now this one's the really angry version. So it's a 10.7% version of Angry Scotch Ale.
Yeah, never had that one. So excited about it. And then the follow-up to Backcountry is the Conjurer of Cheap Tricks. Classic Lord of the Rings reference. Big, boozy Imperial Stout. Love that beer. I've had it a bunch. If I see the can, I get the can. I don't think twice about it.
Then we got a tiramisu pastry stout from Category 12. We're going back to having something a little more desserty on the flight. All those flavors that you like to have, the brown sugars, vanillas. I have not tried that one, and that's why we get excited about these. You know, we've been sitting on them like 6, 7, 8 months.
9. Sometimes we
almost
finish
a
Dark
year.
Days of Summer. The next week I'm placing the order. I'm like, that looks like a good beer for Dark Days next year. And I
There
end up
we go.
stashing stuff in the corner of the fridge.
And then for a little Christmas and summer,
Yeah, Grimoire Belgian Strong Ale from Twin City, which is, I can't even say this word.
Wine Nestelen.
Yeah,
Weihnachtelen.
Weihnachtstolen. German Christmas bread-inspired Belgian Strong Ale. So it's another Belgian quad, but I can't wait to taste these. It's another beer I've never had. The artwork is glorious on that one.
Yeah.
Twin City, always a big fan. They always kill it. So these are
So there
just
you go.
while supplies last. So they should last. They're not going to fly.
They will. They will.
Come on
If
down.
history shows us anything, I think we had these into September last year. So,
Right.
Josh, it's been a slice. Let's do this again sometime, shall
All
we?
right, you know where to find me. Yeah.
Cheers. All right. Also, can you just get a profile shot? Josh has a new hairdo. Going for that Viking look. His hair was down to his butt. I don't have these options with my bald head. But looking slick, buddy.
Thank you,
And
sir.
also, 3 years. You joined us like just a smidge after we opened. But thanks for absolutely killing it, curating the tap list, and coming up with all this stuff and your cocktail program and the whiskey program. Shout out to you, brother. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's it. Tap Talks.